The Motor Inn and Roseview House are located within the historic Port Arthur site, which we will briefly discuss, as it provides essential context to the hauntings. Lieutenant George Arthur first proposed a penal settlement on the Tasman Peninsula in 1827. With its clear strategic and security possibilities, Arthur considered the site a natural penitentiary. The Port Arthur penal settlement was later established in 1830 and would see rapid growth throughout the 1830s and 40s. Port Arthur housed men who had been reconvicted after their arrival in the colony, those whose offences before arrival were of an atrocious nature, and those educated convicts whose behaviour had compelled the government to give them a most rigid court of correction. Port Arthur initially was a timber cutting station, but by 1846 the Cascade Probation Station became the main supplier on the peninsula. By the 1860s, after continuous logging and through advances in the timber industry, the surrounding area was bare, and loggers had to travel 10 kilometres from Port Arthur to collect quality timbers. Stepping back, in the 1840s, Sir John Franklin's probation system allowed the creation of a chain of probation stations that were established through the Tasman Peninsula. This transformed Port Arthur into a large-scale and varied industrial complex that stretched across the Tasman Peninsula. This industrial complex was made up of dockyards, such as the one in Mason's Cove opposite the settlement. The dockyard was capable of building large ships and maintaining vessels. The Prison Peninsula also developed a railway network. These lines were completed in 1836, linking Norfolk Bay and Long Bay. The railway system was powered by convict runners who'd manually push trams that could weigh up to half a tonne when transporting material. The cargo was often timber or coal from a nearby coal mine at Saltwater River. Passengers often were able to utilise a faster form of transport, being run along the 12-mile tramway. These same kind of tram lines are said to supposedly have run through where the Motor Inn now stands. Port Arthur also had ironworks, leatherworks, shoemaking, casting, brickmaking, and an agriculture capacity. The penal colony's 47-year operation saw the advancement of not only its industries, especially in timber, but the treatment of convicts. Changes in English penology through the completion of the Penal prison marked the transformation from punishment and reform through physical subjugation to psychological control. This resulted in a cessation of floggings by 1844 and the construction of separate cells for convicts in 1850. Before the reforms, extreme corporal punishment was relied on, with the use of irons, whips, and solitary confinement. Harsh punishments prior to reform were combined with scholastic and religious instruction, where the labour was designed to provide an avenue to reform, as well as to improve the economic returns of a large and expensive settlement. As transportation ceased in Van Diemen's Land, Port Arthur began to decline. This also coincided with the ageing convict population, who were old and damaged from years of labour and psychological stress. In 1857, the old prisoners' barracks was given to paupers and invalids, and in 1868 an asylum was completed for the population who was suffering from mental illness. In 1877, the Colonial Government privately sold the land, and a small township grew from its ruins. The settlement was officially renamed Carnarvon in 1889. In the 1880s, Port Arthur became a tourist hotspot. When visiting Tasmania, one simply must do Port Arthur, the 1884 New Tasmanian Guidebook proclaimed. Port Arthur became a Gothic reconstruction, full of rundown buildings and a pleasant park-like setting. This description often went hand in hand with an extreme romanticism of melancholy. For example, a visitor in 1889 was delighted at the sight of the English daisies carpeting the floor of the ruined church. Perhaps this suits Port Arthur, as David Byrne in 1842 described the settlement as a place of beauty and terror. This interest in seeing the past former penal settlement influenced the construction of accommodations, such as the Hotel Arthur, Roseview House in the 1920s, and later the Port Arthur Motor Inn. The Motor Inn was constructed in 1959 and overlooks the old convict settlement. The location was used as a market garden and hosted one of the convict tramways that helped transport the stone that helped build Port Arthur. The location adjoins the historic site and sits next to the former accountant's house that was built in 1842 and Civil Officers Row that housed magistrates, chaplains and medical officers. It is likely that the site saw roaming convicts and all forms of early colonial life. This could be why the land contains a spiritual imprint that still presents itself to guests, staff and investigators. The haunting at the Motor Inn isn't isolated, and according to staff and guests alike, they've experienced shadow people, lights turning on and off, disembodied voices, poltergeist activity, and solid apparitions. And this is why we decided that we needed to investigate this place, as the land around it has a strong human connection, and that connection, that energy, supposedly comes to life. Throughout our lives, we've experienced the unexplainable, from apparitions to dark entities, changing our perspectives on the afterlife. Now we seek answers and intend to capture evidence of the paranormal's existence. These are our paranormal experiences.
Good afternoon, Port Arthur Motor Inn. This is Audrey.
Hey Audrey, it's Stan from TP. How are you going?
Good.
Are there any other rooms that haven't been booked out by anyone else that can be investigated, especially ones that are known for being haunted?
Well, there's no one in one tomorrow night, and room 1 is haunted. Room 8 that you're in is known to be haunted.
Yep, excellent.
33, 34 is a vacant. They're another one that's got children in there.
Yep. In terms of any experiences or anything like that, is there anything kind of noteworthy that has happened at the Motor Inn?
Well, yeah, like we had one the other day actually. My cleaner came over the way, and he's a male, and he's not a wimpy male either, I might add.
Yeah.
He came over and he was white. He'd been cleaning the bar and he went out the back to cut some wood, cut some sticks. And when he put all the chairs, he put all the chairs. When he came back, one of the chairs was sitting in the middle of the floor. I mean, people here, like out in the kitchen, they have quite a bit of experience out there as well, with bowls being moved, like trays will just end up off the shelf for no reason.
Yep.
There's all that sort of stuff as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting place. It's obviously got to be haunted because it's always been part of the historic site. So,
yeah.
It used to be the market garden. We have quite a few people that have seen stuff. People in room 1 actually checked out one night. They said they couldn't sleep in there. They couldn't stay in there. They could feel it. They could feel it in there.
Like just being watched or something, that kind of tense feeling.
Yeah, they felt like they weren't on their own.
Yeah, okay.
That there was somebody else with them.
Yep.
There's been all that sort of stuff as well. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting place. I know, I'll give you that. It is an interesting place, I can tell you. Okay, mate, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye, have a good day. Bye. Okay, so I'm with Audrey here, and Audrey's has a few experiences at the Motor Inn. Would you like to share some of those experiences?
Yeah, well, one night, it's probably about 4 years ago, the alarm went off, and I live on site in the unit, and the alarm went off, the hotel alarm, and we obviously thought that somebody had got into the hotel. So my husband said, "You better go and have a look," as all men do. And I came over, and as I walked from the unit across to the hotel to disarm the alarm, I could see something caught my eye. And down at the back of the hotel, at the side where the laundry is, there's some trees there. And I could see a shape, and I'm thinking, oh, somebody has been in the hotel. There they are. And I went over, disarmed the alarm, came back through, and it hadn't moved. And it was dressed in a yellow and black jacket, had a hat on, and it was just standing there looking around. And I went inside, came back out, and he was still there. And the next day I rang the site and I said, look, can you just tell me what this is? This guy was here last night and he was dressed in a yellow and black jacket, trousers, hat. And they said, where'd you see that? And I said, up at the motor inn. And they said, you've just described a budgie. And I said, what's a budgie? And they explained to me what that was. And I call him Harry. And I believe that's who's in the hotel, around the kitchen area, because I can speak to him. Like if I go in and turn a light on and it doesn't come on, I just say, Harry, cut it. I'm busy, mate, you know?
Yeah.
I need the light on. And yeah, I mean, I feel him. You can feel him around the hotel. You can feel him in the back office where all our computer system and everything is. You can feel him in there. You can feel him in the kitchen. We can be cooking in the kitchen and all of a sudden all the pans will just come off the shelf.
Yeah.
The oven will turn itself. We've got a new convection oven, brand new one, turns itself off and on in the middle of service. And all this sort of stuff goes on. So, you know, we believe that this place does have an occupant of some description.
Yeah.
And some, you know, here. A lot of the guests have said to us that, especially staying across the front of the hotel, which overlooks the site, they quite often see a lady walking along the front. And we did actually cut an ad, incorporating that into our ad originally.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
And that was why we did it,
Yeah,
because people were saying to us that they could see this lady. There's another incident where one of our staff members was over there working, saw a face in the window, looking in the window, and it was only a face, nothing else.
So it was just
like
one
an
body.
orb.
It was just like something like this.
Yeah,
And those
basically.
are their own eyes as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And she took a photo. She came and showed me, and you could see it quite clearly. And then I said, oh, give me a camera. I'll go and show them out in the bar. This is unbelievable. And when I went to show them the photo again, it gone. Totally gone. It just wasn't there. And yet, both Tanya and I had both seen it. We have instances upstairs, in the rooms upstairs, where people charge their phones. The next time they wake up, phone's not charged.
Yeah.
It's just dead. And they'll say to me, oh, you've obviously got something wrong with your PowerPoint. So I go up, plug in a hairdryer, works beautifully.
Yeah.
It just will not charge. Camera batteries is another one that people tend to have problems with as well. Not all the time, but you know, occasionally. Yeah. The batteries don't charge on cameras and things like that. So we believe we do have occupants here of some description, and this always formed part of the site anyway. It was originally part of the historic site, so it's obvious that you will have movement up here.
Yeah.
When you walk down from the car park into the bar area or into the restaurant, and between there and the office is like a cutaway. That was the actual original tram track that they went to the quarry to bring the stone to build Port Arthur.
Yeah.
So it's always been part of the site.
Yes.
So obviously that's why we do have this little bit of a ghostly feeling. We've had guests walk down the path. One particular lady came back and she had like a blood on her face, and I said, oh, what happened to you? She said, I don't know. She said, I was just walking down the path. She said, and I felt something dragged down the side of my face and she started bleeding. And this was in daylight.
Yeah.
So, and that was walking down to the visitor centre. So, you know, there's something there. And I mean, I'm pretty much of I'm not a non-believer, but I'm pretty down-to-earth sort of a person. So I've really got to see things for my own eyes to believe in it.
Yeah.
And I do believe now, because I know that you can feel it. You can walk around the motor inn, you can walk into a room of the night to turn a heater on for a late incoming guest. And sometimes the rooms will be freezing cold, like really, really cold. And so you know that there's somebody in there at that time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And room 35, one of our girls that used to work here, her name was Jenna, she could hear her name being called. And there was no one there. And they were saying to her, Jenna, and she came out, she said, I'm not going back in there. She said, there's somebody in there, but there isn't anyone in there.
And that's happened a few times, for speaking to other staff. It's happened a few times. Their name will actually be called. Like they know them by name. They've been working here for a while,
long time
now. and the whatever is residing here actually knows them by name now to that extent. So which is pretty interesting. And obviously, there's no one in the rooms.
No, there's no one in there, you know. And I think that's why I don't have issues with it, because they know me. I've been here for 8 years. I'm wandering around all the time. I'm in all areas at the hotel, and so they've got to know me now. So I believe that's why I don't. You know, every now and then they'll show themselves, but I've never had anything really bad happen to me here. I
think it's why you probably also experience sometimes more. Like, say if we come in here and we're only here for such a short amount of time. Like these people who entities that reside here, they're people too.
Yeah.
And if they don't know you well enough, they might not even want to interact with you. Like especially if in room 33 and 34, I've been hearing there's children up there. You know, there's a group of guys coming along. They're like, no, I'm too scared. You know, and that's why some people get interactions, some don't, and they know you really well, so they don't mind interacting with you at all, and that's why you probably experience a lot.
Well, we talk to them, you know, we basically say, oh, go away, you know, we're busy, we're doing this, we're doing that, you know, and it'll stop. Whatever they were doing will just stop. And you just move on with what you're doing. And I honestly believe that that's because they know us, because we've been here such a long time. And so they know our movements. They know I'm here till whatever time of the night. They know I'm going to go into that back office. I can walk in that back office some nights and it's absolutely freezing in there. And I just say, Harry, I'm going home, mate. I've had a big day.
Yeah.
You know, close the safe and I go home. You know, but that's how I see it. And as I said, I'm a down-to-earth person. So for me to believe in this stuff, there's got to be something there. I've actually seen it myself, so I know that there is something here. You know? It's the same as this room here, room 10, because I strip the rooms for the girls to come through and clean. So, and I'll pull the pillow slips off and then I'll throw them on the chair. I have them come back at me sometimes as if there's somebody sitting on the chair and I've thrown it at them. You know, so the pillow just comes back at me. And, you know, you'll throw it again, it'll come back again.
And they're not bouncy.
Yeah.
They're not bouncy. They're heavy, like I was sleeping.
But I can't see you sitting in the chair either.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know where they are, and I just go off, whatever.
What are the experiences that you kind of experienced around the Mochi Inn?
Well, I was checking rooms. I was with 3 other girls and checking my room in room 30 and knocked on the door and said housemaiding, and someone yelled at me and said go away.
Oh really?
And Audrey came over and she said no, everyone's gone. And a couple of minutes later and walked in and there was no one in there.
Yeah, that would have been pretty freaky. So was the voice it was quite like if I was talking to you, it was pretty had tone to it.
Yep.
It wasn't like kind of like a whispery noise.
No.
It was a full on. That'd be quite freaky to know. Oh, it's not just someone coming to stay and they're just like they're getting dressed or something. It's actually someone who is you can't see them or something.
Yeah, that's it.
They're here for a while.
Yeah.
So with room 30, that's on up that side along there as well. Have you had any experiences in 33 and 34?
Dark shadows.
Yep.
In the corners, like you turn around and there'll be some shape.
Yeah.
There and in 34.
Yeah. Have you seen the shapes directly as well, not just on the side of your eyes?
Oh, not really. Just sort of, you sort of look and it's there, but you look properly and it's not, sort of thing.
And this would be during the daylight.
Yeah, the day
as well.
Yeah.
It's not during the night where it's, you got torches and stuff, and that can be easy. Okay. So along with room 10, and it was room 30 and what was the other room? 33, 34. What have you experienced in room 10?
Oh, it's very cold.
It's just cold.
Very, very icy cold. Yeah. So now it's like if you go up to the snow sort of cold.
The next experience that we heard was from a staff member who wishes to stay anonymous. For the sake of the story, we refer to them as Bob. One day, Bob was working in a restaurant at the Motor Inn. He was tidying up and wandering back and forth between the bar and the dining area. Leaving the dining room area briefly, he returned to find that a dining chair had moved all by itself. After hearing the story, several other staff came forward and explained that objects would move frequently, especially when no one was around. While getting some shots for the episode and setting up for the investigation, we begin to hear some banging and crashing coming from the kitchen area.
Where? I don't know if there's something to do with the fridge.
I heard something squeaky.
As soon as the fridge sort of stopped, it sort of died.
I guess I'm going to have to ask Audrey.
Yeah, that door's definitely shut.
Keep her in.
So it was definitely on the front door. What
Yeah.
would make a squeaking noise?
It's not loose seal or...
That doesn't move at all.
What can we do that? Fans? Oh, what was that? Hear a squeak?
Yeah.
Hello?
Could it be one of those fans, or the exhaust fans?
It's possibly. Let's see if I can hear it again. Did that do anything? No, it didn't do anything.
Silent.
Who's making noises?
Because the fries are likely to make a bit of noises with cooling down, but nothing like that.
Yeah, that's why I ran to grab the camera. Because obviously we weren't ready.
Yeah, well, that outside door's not going to make that noise either. That doesn't squeak.
That's weird, okay.
The only thing I can think of is some exhaust fan on the roof.
I guess we can start in the kitchen then. That's the case.
Yeah. That's shut.
All good?
I don't know.
Interesting. Of course we weren't filming when that was happening. I don't know, it seemed, I thought it was a kitchen.
Well, nothing
Is
there
it that?
squeaks.
Is it that? Could be loose? Like, could it be that?
Well,
Although, like when I was
it
in...
wasn't squeaking, but that's shut now, so...
But when I was in here, I heard it down there, towards the actual, this way, in this
Yeah.
direction. But if it was that door, why do I think it was coming from that direction? I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Yeah. Well, the squeaking stopped with the fridge, so that's a possibility.
There.
Yeah.
It's like in the,
It's in the bloody roof.
it's in the roof. Big possum, maybe? That was the door at the time? Can I open the door? Come on, open the door.
Yeah, if you could open that'd be great.
Could that be like wind or... Not wind, but like the pressure in a building.
Well, being vents in here, it could be air pressure.
Yeah. Hearing squeaks again.
I reckon
It could be air pressure.
It's got to be those exhaust fans in the roof, I reckon.
Yeah, it's creating like this constant flow.
Yeah, so that's very sharp.
Yeah. Can I do it as much?
Well, it's not going to bang,
Oh.
unless you get like something fairly decent.
Could you... Huh? Are you whispering? Just to stop it from banging and giving us any false positives.
Well, that's unlikely to
Do it
move
now.
by itself either. Yeah, see if that door moves, there's going to be a lot of wind.
Yeah. Alright. We'll get ready now.
Okay. Go ahead and ask questions. Is there anybody here in the room with us? Can you say your name? Where are we?
Strangely, the dining room camera that was looking over us stopped recording. Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the last time that one of our cameras decided to turn itself off or lose charge quickly.
And when I went to show them the photo again, gone. Totally gone. Camera batteries is another one that people tend to have problems with as well.
How old are you? Are you male or female?
If there's anyone here, feel free to come and talk. It's your chance to talk to someone. Talk to us. Tell us something. Come and sit down. There's plenty of couches here. It's nice and comfy. Come talk to us. All you need to do is come and talk to this spirit box, this device in Sam's hand that's now on the table, and hopefully you can manipulate it and give us a message. Put these back on. Maybe we could start talking about like convicts and stuff as well. We could try to target that. If anyone's a convict around here, Sam might have some questions for you. We'll put these on. I can hear you.
Are there any convicts here? What were you sentenced for? Have you killed anyone?
Ooh. There was some weird interference there. It did it when you said, so I can just hear you still.
Yeah.
When you said, did you kill anyone? It went, made a weird noise. Maybe ask again, keep following that.
How many people have you killed? Was it your fault? How long were you sentenced? What age did you arrive here in Van Dieman's Land?
Some interference again. While the squeaking is possibly the exhaust fans, there's a strange tapping noise that sounds like footsteps. This is then followed up by unknown voices, although it could be us speaking in the distance. What do you think?
I'm getting nothing on this end.
Interesting.
But yours, same sweep rate, same channel.
Are you causing this interference? What's your name? Come towards us. Come talk to us. Try to use this thing in front of us. If this is your home and you don't want us in here, that's fine, but you need to tell us. Got these devices in front of us, not just the thing that's making the annoying noise. We've also got a K2 that can detect that you're near it, and you can hopefully interact with it. You reckon you can come and touch it right now? Come up to this little green light on the table and try to touch it. See if you can set it off. See if you're that powerful to do it. Receiving no more communication via the spirit box, we decide to head into the kitchen to continue our investigation. Okay, we got a ball there. Got a ball on this stainless steel bench. Come on. I heard someone throws things in here. Who does that? Can you tell me your name through that device? On that bench, right where I'm pointing. You should be able to talk through it. Come on, can you throw that cat ball? You can throw it at me if you don't like me.
There's plenty of plates and stuff you can move for us.
There are plenty of stuff you can move. You can go up to Sam's hand. You should be able to detect whatever you're made up of. Detect your presence, that you're close by him, that you actually are here. Because I don't know, I might be just talking to thin air, which is a pretty big possibility at this stage. Come on, where are you? Why are you very quiet? Is this your space? I want to do it.
Like us because we're strangers. No one can you come touch this device in my hand or talk to us through this box. I know you're strong enough to do it.
Quick EVP session using like your phone. Or it's on flight mode or something, we can utilise that, see if it responds.
Yeah. Leave that going.
We'll turn it off for this. After completing several EVP sessions, unfortunately, we don't capture the voices and noises that we were hearing before. Okay, are you in the kitchen still? Where are you? Can you come towards us and talk to us? It'd be fantastic if you want to, if you can. Hear a noise, you said? Leaving Sam alone to get more gear, activity starts to increase.
Do you prefer someone to be here by themselves? Do you like to try and scare people? If you don't want us here, give us a sign. Move something or tell us to get out if you don't like us here. Move something or tell us to get out if you don't like us here. Try and show yourself to us. I'm drawing the energy and the electrical appliances in the place. Use that energy to try and communicate. Can you do it again? Can you do it again? Can you do it again?
What is interesting is that all of a sudden all this activity just comes out of nowhere, but only when Sam is alone. And this is consistent with what the staff have told us, that they have only experienced things when they are alone at the bar and restaurant at the Motor Inn.
Anything at all, even these spoons, these kitchen utensils. Try and just move one slightly. Just push one a little bit back and forth. Is it too warm in here? Do you want to lower the temperature? Even by a degree. Just to cool it down a bit. So come stand next to Sam, right where his hand is. You want to stand on my right hand side? Even reach out, put your hand on top of mine. You're powerful enough to throw things around. Definitely powerful enough to have the strength. This is pretty tough. Stand next to Sam, where his hand is. Come on, there's even alcohol up here on the shelf. Do you want any of that to drink?
Leaving the kitchen area, we decide to go into the restaurant to further investigate it before heading to the bar. With beams.
He's like, see, that's what it does with beams and stuff. So it's just trying to map in things. As long as you know the limitations of things. In here is terrible. You probably can tell more of the yeah. It's all the chairs, table. It's the SLS's nightmare because it doesn't know what to look at.
Yeah, it likes blank canvases in a way.
How about you come sit down on that couch over there? That one right in front of me. You come sit down on that one. I'll have the studio, which would be pretty cool, to be honest. You're over here.
While this is quite a quick response, we didn't hear anything at the time, and it sounds like someone is saying yeah or yes directly after my question.
You're waiting around. So I'm just looking around in the open area and avoiding chairs. Where are you? The staff here say you're pretty active at times and you do some interesting things. Some have even seen you.
Even move one of the knives or forks on one of the tables.
Bang on a wall. I'm going. Oh, I'm over there.
Into the bar.
Yeah, in the bar. You know, when we come sit on the bar stool, get you a drink. Who's at the bar? Who's standing up at the bar? Is this your place, your favourite place to be? See, Sam's going to get you a drink.
Does anybody want a drink? We've got a couple of beers on tap if you like those. If not, we have plenty of whiskey. And lots of things you can drink.
If you come tuck Sam's hand, we'll make sure you get a drink. Doesn't matter who you are. You have drinks all night.
I'll serve anyone, even convicts.
Hear that? Who's a convict around here?
Anything you like, free of charge.
May for the noise? Behind me? Who is here? Who just spoke behind my head? So the camera, you're all looking straight down towards where Sam is, but to your right, if you're viewing, watching right now, there's a doorway, Sam, we're going to turn the camera around. I heard something over here, I heard a noise. I'm going to use the SLR to see if I can map anything in. Who just yelled at me? You friendly? I think the staff would love to know if you're friendly or not. We were talking about convicts and how they have a drink here. What's wrong with that? Is there a problem?
See if you can roll the white ball as well. See if you can roll the white ball as well. See if you can roll the white ball as well.
It is 10:46 p.m. Now, I don't know if I heard someone talk behind my head. I may have. But if you exist, if you're a person and that you try to yell at me or just tell me something I just didn't hear, can you come right up to this phone, this thing on the table, come speak to me. Tell me your name. Okay, second EVP, the bar, 10:43 p.m. If you're here, if anyone's here, and you tried to communicate with me and I just didn't hear you, can you please come into my hand and speak to me? Tell me your name. We're just going to review it and see if we got anything.
If you want a drink, just head up to the bar and I'll come around.
Have to close up the place, man. No one wants to drink here. This is a very weak capture, if a capture at all, although it can be autopareidolia, as there's a lot of contamination in the background. What do you think? Guess we can try in front of the kitchen area. Okay. Is anyone in this room? Would you like to come forward, take a seat, relax? And come talk to us. And come and use this device on the table and you can manipulate it. Hopefully you can talk to us. While our camera didn't pick up anything, the kitchen camera picks up a potential response. Can you try and do that? Where is it? That was the same spot I put it in. Then we move the bowl. You tried to move it again. That one right there.
Due to time restrictions, we had 3 other rooms to investigate, and with the night moving fast, we also had to move quickly and see if we could capture the experienced disembodied voices, shadow figures, and light switching. The very next day, the building's washing machines all malfunctioned, and with entities that are well known for manipulating electronics, did our investigation provoke a response from the residing entities? While it smells like a coincidence, the staff jokingly agreed.